Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I'm talking about natal Mars conjunct to Jupiter. And this is one of these natal aspects or one of these conjunctions that I feel like is a pretty much mostly good or mostly beneficial conjunction to have because we have two, very fiery planets conjunct each other. It does kind of work, it does lend a lot of physical energy to a person, athletic ability to a person as well when we have Mars conjunct Jupiter. But I will also talk about the downsides, and even like some traditional astrologers interpret this conjunction as quite negative. I don't see it as that, but I will talk about, all of it here. So, yeah, Mars conjunct Jupiter, one of the most obvious things about these people is that they're very direct. They don't beat around the bush. There's a real, like, beautiful actually authenticity in this moment. Well, I like it because I'm Aries rising and Mars rules my whole chart, so I feel like these people are similarly very straight up, and they don't beat around the bush. They don't really have like a secretive energy in any way. Even if they do have some Scorpio or whatever going on, there still is quite an openness with them, and there's like an authenticity. It's kind of like a real like natural exuberance and ability to even be in the moment and be like present in the moment, and that's something that contributes to the athletic ability. My best friend from even elementary school, she's just an awesome soccer player. She's so athletic. She's so gifted in that area. She has a Venus Mars conjunction with Jupiter also in Sagittarius, and I always think of her when I think of this aspect because yeah, she's so athletically gifted. And I remember when I was younger, I was not, and I still not. I like to work out now, and I'm very physically fit now, but I definitely didn't have any gift for sports in any way, and yeah, it was one of my like childhood traumas. I wasn't healthy as a kid. I had, anyways, side note. But yeah, so that's one of the main things of this aspect is that usually physically there are going to be gifts, and there's, yeah, real energetic, sometimes too much so. Sometimes we're going to see these people, having a little bit of like ADHD symptoms. It's hard to sit still. They like can never stop moving. There's so much physical energy. It's absolute hell for them to sit at a desk all day. Like, that is one of the downsides actually, is that Mars and Jupiter want to be going, and they want to be active, and they want to be climbing up the tree and building the house and doing the aggressive physical sport. And like if they are forced to sit or forced to be at a desk, and they just don't do well with that. And so like they might even think like I would hate for this to happen, but like kids like diagnosed with like ADHD or something, and it's like, well, they just have a Mars Jupiter conjunction and they're not meant to sit at a desk all day. Like they need to be like in sports, they need to be doing physical work or something physical outside. Even Mars and Sagittarius people a little bit too like are like this, but this is to a more extent with Mars conjunct Jupiter people. But yeah, so there's that high level of physical energy. There's also a real like passion, and they get fired up about things. They definitely like to argue. They like to debate. They like to they can know a wide variety about many things, and then be able to kind of spout off like random things about whatever it is. They're not generally like a book nerd though. There'd have to be other things going on to show that kind of knowledge, but they do feel pretty capable to kind of have discussions or have debates. Like they don't really hold back in that area. Like I said, there's just a very like primal in the moment energy, and so there actually is a real like natural confidence. And even if it's like square to Saturn or something, there's still like their impulse is more to do and to go and to like there's a real like forward moving impulse. So like they generally don't hold themselves back. Even if they feel nervous, they're still going to jump out of the plane or whatever, right? Like if they're skydiving or something, right? Like they're like even if they feel the fear, the instinct with people with Mars conjunct Jupiter is to just like go do it. And like so there's a great like enterprising like spirit there. Could be great entrepreneurs, like they're great salespeople. They could probably sell anything to anyone because of their passion and their exuberance and they definitely have a magnetic energy. And the interesting thing about it is, like I said, if you have a Mars Jupiter conjunction, you could even have a strong Pluto or Scorpio energy, and you're not going to be as like holding on to things when you have a Mars Jupiter conjunction. There really is this ability to like be in the moment, and like maybe you blow up at someone. You can't have a temper with this aspect too. Maybe you have an angry outburst and then 5 minutes later you're saying, oh, sorry about that, I just got a little mad. Like, hey, you want to go for coffee? Like, it's so there's like a real ability to move on from things and to be like, you know what, that's in the past. I'm not going to stay there anymore in my energy. I'm going to move on. And sometimes we probably move on too quickly with this aspect. Maybe there's still more healing to be done and the Mars Jupiter person is just going on to the next thing. But that can of course be a gift, and like this ability to let it go, like don't sweat the small stuff and like move on and on to the next thing, right? Because Jupiter is a very future oriented planet, right? And so when Mars, our physical energy, our sexual energy, our passion, our desires, how we go after what we want, right? Kind of like our mojo in the world, our masculine energy. When Mars is conjunct with Jupiter, when we want something, we're going to go get it, and nothing's going to stop us. And, we're not going to let some emotional inhibitions or fears or stuff like that hold us back. Like, we're just going to go on to the next thing and be generally quite successful. Now, this is a possible manifestation, and this is, of course, what the traditional textbooks will say, is that there can be criminal behavior with Mars conjunct Jupiter. I feel like probably more so with Mars in a square opposition to Jupiter, but definitely with the conjunction too, there is a certain amount of lawlessness. And where this comes from is actually, I feel like it's more of like a recklessness and more of like that impulsive in the moment energy rather than like a pure calculated criminal behavior. Like, it's like, oh, I want to do something, but it's illegal. Well, I'll just do it anyways, kind of thing. Or, so it's not like like I said, it's not like a calculated criminal. It's just like there can be little regard for rules, especially rules that are inhibiting them in any way, because this is a very uninhibited conjunction. We don't experience rules and regulations and things like that when we have this conjunction. We just want to have what we want and go for it. And Mars is very unrestrained in this conjunction. So that's where we could see someone, getting into fights or, doing a little bit of crime or, and, you're probably going to get caught if you are a criminal with Mars conjunct Jupiter, because this is not a subtle, energy at all. But yeah, so there is that potential. It's not going to show up in everybody, but there's definitely a potential for that. And then also at the same time, it's like they will feel like they've done nothing wrong too. Like, well, oh, I was just doing whatever I want, so sorry, I broke the law. Get over it. Like, and so it's actually these people are they're pretty funny, honestly. Like, it's they're a hoot. But yeah, so there can be that tendency, but like I said, it's not coming from like a calculated place. It's more just like the desire to be completely unrestricted and unrestrained. And Mars tends to act rather than listen to the rules. Or if someone says no to them, they're just gonna go and do it anyways. And not that they don't have the potential to be like civilized humans, because they do, but their impulsiveness, this can be a hindrance, because yeah, like the recklessness, they can become involved in dangerous situations, or like I said, criminal situations, because they cannot restrain themselves. So that is one of the downsides. That is what the ancient astrological texts warn of. Yeah, what else though? overall, I mean, aside from that, and aside from forcing them to sit at a desk or something, this aspect is usually really good for health. Something that's really funny that, many of you have probably heard of, but there's this ancient, or no, it's not ancient, but it's this astrological ideology, or that people with Mars Jupiter aspects, or men with Mars Jupiter aspects, are on the larger side in that regard. That, you know what I'm talking about. um I can't off the top of my head say whether that is truth in my head or not, but that's something that's been said, and it's been said for all Mars Jupiter aspects actually, but I would assume the conjunction would be the biggest. But aside from that, whether it's an actual physical manifestation of bigness in a sexual way, their energy, their sexual energy, it does represent, like, it's healthy. It's fertility usually, unless we have other things going on with Venus. But usually there's a high sexual energy and there's a high masculine energy. So it's actually probably more favorable for men because of the like it's a more masculine conjunction when you think about it. Jupiter and Mars are both kind of like masculine energies. So yeah, there's like a high sexual energy. It can also be a little bit impulsive too, where they might impulsively have an affair or rush into things like that. But if the energy is channeled well into other things, I don't like, this isn't really an aspect of like disloyalty or anything like that, but it could lead to impulsive actions, and the sexual energy is quite high, and of course they don't like to be restrained, right? So but on a positive level, there's usually health and sexual health, like fertility, and like the ability to create. This is a really creative conjunction, like to bring life to things. I mean, maybe we're more of a starter than a finisher, but nonetheless we are creating things, we're doing things, and this is an active lifetime. This isn't a lifetime for sitting around and reading a book. This is a lifetime to get out there and really do it, and they can be very passionate about their beliefs, right? Jupiter can represent beliefs and faith, and so these can be kind of like preachers, preaching whatever it is. I mean, it's not usually going to be organized religion, but it could be. It'll be some school of thought or some belief, whatever it is. Like as shown by Jupiter and Mars, like they're very passionate about it, and they can sell it to anybody. So it's a great placement for salesmen or motivational speakers as well, because there's that real exuberance and charisma when we've got something we believe in. So yeah, I'd love to know your experience of this conjunction. If you have it in your natal chart, what has it been like? If you know someone with it, what's it been like? And thank you so much for watching this, you guys. Thanks for your requests. Keep those requests coming. We'll talk soon. Okay, bye.